Oh well. Mr. Neil Lamb is indeed number one tonight. Rare that people actually get it right when they declare that they are the first. Most people get it wrong. But Mr. Neil Lamb got it right. Hey Stuart and Tony D. Toltec Merc. I don't know that name. Hello Toltec Merc. We're going to do the boring one first, which of course is just a standard iPhone. What have I got here? An iPhone 6S. Yeah. I just got to get this done for tomorrow. Person dropped it off in the metal safety container, and now I have to repair it. So what have we got? We've got screen and a battery. This will just get us warmed up. Get the old juices flowing. Let's see, battery adhesive strips that get stuck to nitrile gloves very well. And we want a black screen. Seems like I stocked up on all the wrong things in life. I got a whole bunch of iPhone stuff, but it seems like China's gotten back on board, so it's not really much of a shortage of that. I should have stocked up on toilet paper instead. Hey Ed, Soderbridge, John White, Jack, Sarah, hey LPL from whereabouts? From Serbia. Hello LPL. Hey Pedro Business Stealer. I'm waiting for when you're going to do a hostile takeover of my business, Pedro. As long as you buy me out with enough rolls of toilet paper, I'll be happy. Alan Woolliscroft from Derby, UK. Hey, Rescue. Alright, that's reasonably sanitized. I'm running out of methylated spirits too. I do have a lot of isopropylene on hand. I got a whole unopened 5 litres. For a lot of this sort of work, I've switched over more to using methylated spirits, even though it's not actually methylated. It's just ethanol with bittering agent in it now, which makes it even better. Oh, this one's never been opened before. Nice. Don't get very many successes that have never been opened before. But this one indeed has not. I'm wearing goggles because sometimes when you run the spudger down the sides, it causes the glass to basically explode in your face, and that hurts a lot when you get a little tiny piece of glass in your eyeball and you run around screaming and you gotta call an ambulance, get them to come pick you up. No, it's no fun. That battery looks way too good. We'll take it out and have a look at what its age is. Yo, something really was sticky on the back of that. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Ah, no one can see what I'm doing. Damn it. Sorry, folks. Overhead. There we go. Hey, Christian. Next Gen Ben. Mido Dido. Oh, really got a collection of people tonight. Yeah, this is a very good looking battery compared to what you normally encounter. So I do have some slight concerns that we may have something else at fault, but it is an old enough phone, and given that it's never been opened, that it's entirely possible it is the battery, but it's just well behaved. As in, it hasn't decided to go all pimply or bobbly or rippled, or it's just dying a peaceful death. Hey Damaras, hey Warren Stamps. Let's see, about the only person I could think of immediately off my top of my head that's missing now is Warren Stamps. Not Warren Stamps, Wayne Taylor. Let's see if I can get a bit of a zoom in on here. That's the best I can do. Hey, Paulie Lewis. Let's get this battery out first, have a look. Hey, Robert van der Nine. Mildly warm Belgium. Wow, I'm running around in shorts, but I've been in shorts for months now. Being original battery, it should all the pull strips are usually the best quality. I think I just pulled a bit hard. Got a bit anxious. And it's a November 2015 battery, so yeah, I mean it's due to be old, so did well. Over 4 years of life. Hey, Paul Howe, rather. You see, normally they do go the puffy way, or they get rippled, or physically they look different. But that one is a picture of perfection, really. Guess you can't judge a battery by its cover. Just move the chat down, make it easy for me to see. That's better. Hey, Leonard O'Brien. From lockdown Ireland, at least the weather is improving here. Ah yes, of course all you people in the north will be getting into your summer life. Funnily enough, the same sort of thing happens here around the same time of the year, because for us we're coming out of the traumatic summer period. And we usually, like you guys will have spring cleaning as a habit, where you go around, you get everything prepped for your nice high activity springtime. But the same sort of thing happens here at the same time, as in we have more of a autumn cleaning, where you've endured the rough summer and now you go into the shed and you clean out the house and you get everything prepared for the nice cozy winter ahead. Mostly because winter is not really winter. It's probably more like your spring. Hey, Zero Cool. Let's see, who else am I waiting on? I'll be curious to see if Harold turns up. Harold, of course, is the chap that makes a lot of the implements that are the tools that I use. Things like the Chipmunk and the 2915 and 2917 graphics chip modification things, whole bunch of other things. You put the tabs on first. Oh, Byron, you mean you start from this end and then wrap it back? I guess we all have our ways, eh? Okay, so that's done and ready. We can set that aside. Now we can get to the actual phone. Just stick these off to the side, to the rubbish. I'm still waiting for my proper supply of gloves. I'm having to use the old ones that I used to use, whereas these days I prefer these ones, these Microlight. They're substantially, they're about half the thickness of these ones. So when you put them on, you can it looks like you're sweating too much. But I gotta say, for doing the sort of work that we do, these micro lights are they're substantially nicer to use than these ones. These ones feel like probably what it feels like to be an astronaut and fighting against the vacuum stiffness effect. And I didn't realise until I switched over to those other ones. And then now that I've had to come back to these because of running out of those, it's quite noticeable. I put an order in ages ago and no, everything's out of stock with no defined ETA at this point. Hey Catherine. There's another variant of these ones that are easy slip-on, slip-off, of the microlight ones. And supposedly they slip on and off really easily with even if they're wet. But I can only buy them in boxes of, I think, 3,000 or 30,000. I think it's 30,000. And since I've never tried them, I'm not really game to spend that level of money on gloves. If they were the ones that I was just showing you at that sort of level, then yeah, I'll buy them, no problem. But not for an unknown glove. Hey Pernov, how's it going? Slippage there. Normally I actually take all these screws out in one hit before I bother to put them down on the magnetic pad. Yeah, we're just getting this job out of the way so that it is out of the way, so in the morning when I get up I don't have to panic when the person turns up and hits the doorbell and expecting their phone to be ready. I'm just using some hot air to get the adhesive off the phone home button. Because this is an original, never been opened before one, it's probably likely that I can get the adhesive to stay on this, which would be really nice. Stay on, yep, stayed on. PVJ TP is toilet paper, which is the new global currency. Oh, I thought it was a global currency, not just I guess it's a global currency for all those countries that use it, as opposed to those that you don't shake hands with if they're missing one hand. Hey, what the? Kitchen roll and hacksaw. Oh. Hey, Prolux. Yeah, kitchen paper is a little bit aggressive. I reckon I'd probably be better off with 1200 grit. I think it's just time we changed over to bidets, or bidets, whatever they call them. We'll get those Japanese toilets. But it was interesting to note in the shop this week that all of a sudden flour and sugar, things like that, have started to disappear. So I think all of the people have been watching YouTube and decided now that they're going to be makers of food, make their own pasta and stuff like that. Because the last few weeks it's always been in stock. I've been able to get, a bag when I needed it. Fortunately I already had sugar on hand, but flour I was running out of. Yeah, it was a bit of a shock. And I thought, well, if they've taken the flour, maybe the toilet paper's back. And it's like, nope, they've taken that still too. I've got to put this back. Ben Rogers, no, it's only 9 PM here in Australia, where I am. It's not that late. I've pretty much only just gotten started in terms of repairing stuff. Hey, Richard Pearson. Okay, I need my glasses. I know my eyes have only gone a bit squirrely the last couple of years, because when I was first doing iPhones, even with the iPhone 6 and 6S when they came out, I was able to line up the flex with that little keying dot that's on the plastic frame. But in the last 12 months I've not been able to see that clearly enough, so now that I've got the glasses back on I can see it, and it's like, oh yeah, I used to be able to do this without a microscope. These glasses aren't much good for anything beyond 40 centimeters. Everything just goes straight back to blurry and uncomfortable at that point. It's called getting old. Unfortunately, you are quite correct. Technically correct. The best kind of correct. Yay, human scum. I should actually do it under here. That's what I've got a fume extractor for. Okay. Hopefully when I put this all back together and fire it up, it will draw around about 1.5 amps. Why? What is wrong with you? You have a dud thread in that? Oh, I hate that. Yep. There's a dud thread on the screen. I'll try to swap them around, sometimes that works. Mumbles 5, I've tried those and I found them very unpleasant to use, so I find glasses and then the microscope is a good combination for me. No, that thread's definitely cactus. Damn it. That's a pain. Let's see if I can find something to replace it with. The trouble is, the next time that it gets repaired, it's not going to match. Shame, no one's going to let Lewis down on soldering that backlight jumper to ground, are they? A nice wood screw, that'll do it, yep. There we go. Now the trick is, did it punch through? Unfortunately not. How many of you would do the iPhone 4s or the 4S's, sometimes the 5s, and accidentally get the wrong screw in, and then you tighten it up and you end up with that annoying spot, silver spot, come up through the black paint, and you have to take it all out, go over it with a black pen, because that's the professional way of doing it. There's no way you're going to throw an entire screen away over that, especially not when you can fix it up with a black pen. And into the trash. Did I mark this? I don't recall marking it. I'll do it. That backlight drama with Lewis was a good example why you shouldn't declare a job as being a 5-minute job. Because the universe has a bad habit of coming up to you and say, "Oh, I heard you said you was going to be a 5-minute job. Here, let me fix that for you." Which is exactly why you do not quote people on a 5-minute job either. So even if it's something as simple as cleaning out a charge port, if you get all confident, something's going to knock you down. That's probably a pessimistic view of the universe, but it seems to be doing that a fair bit to us all. 2 different strength reading glasses either side of the bench, no glass for use with the microscope, so right fiddle swapping over them. Yeah, Andrew agreed. Yep. Getting the flux on them is the annoying part. Being technically minded, do you follow other high-skilled channels of engineering? Not really. I suppose I should be ashamed of myself. I watch different types of channels, like I watch cooking a lot, funnily enough, and I watch people like Alex Steele, who's a blacksmith, or was a blacksmith, and now he's more of a do-everything guy. I watch Scott Manley for his updates on what the heck's going on with space. Now, just sort of, I don't spend a huge amount of time watching stuff on YouTube. I find a lot of it very, very contrived, which, yeah. Oh, of course, there's Cody's lab. Cody's going through some dramas at the moment, I think. And he's doing his best to put content out. Oh, joy. Phone is disabled. Yep. Wah wah. They'll be able to get their phone back, but the data's gone. I better check to see how much current this is drawing. Yeah, I'm not sure what Cody's lab's going to do. Like I say, he seems a bit lost at the moment. He's trying to get his new property going. But I think a lot of us really felt the loss of when he stopped doing his mining. Okay, that plugs in properly. Ah, crud, come on, you gotta be kidding me. Alright, this is probably a TriStar. Damn it. Alright. This is going to suck because the person's probably not going to want to spend the money to get a TriStar fix. Because right now it's drawing 80 milliamps. That's just not good enough. I'll turn it around, see if that makes it any better. Ah, he's got a bad charge port. Okay, because now it's 1.3 amps. Yeah, definitely not it's a bad charge port. I mean, there's some junk in there, but maybe it's the flex. I'll tell the person that it works in one direction, not the other, because like I said, I really do not think that they are going to spend the money to get this replaced. It fits in well enough, so I'm guessing it's going to be charge port. And sure, it's only a $15 part or something, but replacing it and everything else, that's going to add another $50 to the job. Yeah. I have seen Smarter every day. I like their earlier stuff. I remember an Opal Mining one he did too. 64. Let's flip it around. Yeah, weird. It's working both ways now. So maybe there's just a piece of junk on there. Anyway, so that's done. Now we can get on to the MacBook. Clear up things a little bit. Don Matthews, hello. NC, is that New Caledonia? You'll have to apologise. We do not get indoctrinated with all the states of the United States in Australia, so yeah, we're a little bit daft like that. We only learn what we learn from Disney. Hey Nassim, don't suppose you watch my channel, do you? For I think I've watched a couple of videos. I can't quite remember it. Hey John Finn, North Carolina. Oh, damn it. Okay, so is there such a place as New Caledonia? Half the reason I will participate in Rossman streams is usually to harass Lewis for one, and basically goad him into talking about my software, whether it be good or bad. No such thing as bad exposure, they say. Wow, someone has mashed the living hell out of the back of this. Yeah, that's not good. I'll have to actually put that on the job sheet. Andrew Hughes, I think I saw that one. Yeah, I was half expecting the person that you see walking behind the Dalek about a minute into the video. I was half expecting them to get vaporized, but they didn't, so that was disappointing. New Caledonia as a country. Oh. I just spread COVID-19. Okay, so what is wrong with this one? Intermittently powers off, sometimes won't power up. DC board was observed to be loose, so secured it. Seems to fix the issue. Customer returns saying issue persisted, now fan is constantly running. So we've probably got corrosion on the SMC area. Ah, someone's had their fingerprints in there, that's for sure. Yeah, now we've got a 00165. Battery is starting to show signs of discomfort. I can see some sort of corrosion on the keyboard connector. Let's see if it does anything. Where's our chipmunk? Advancement. There we go, energize, we are booting. Okay, so it's intermittent. I'd say what's happened is due to the shipment process, it's shaking things around and it wants to play again. Old Caledonia with Scotland, really? That's the things you learn. Yeah. See, now that's one thing that does get me in a tiz with some videos when I see with Mr. Rossman, and he gets a machine and all of a sudden it's working fine, and it's like, well, they shouldn't have sent that or whatever, and I'm fairly sure he's just joking. I'm fairly sure it goes back through a process where someone tries to find out what's going on rather than them sending it back to the customer. I mean, dealing with bounce rates is bad enough after you've tested things, after you've fixed it. There's a bit of, where's that liquid coming from there? A bit of liquid drain through here on the battery. So we're just going to take this straight out because probably we have corrosion around about this area on the back. Could be wrong. Guess we'll see. After a while you can start to disassemble these 1466s almost in your sleep. Hey James Ewing, hey Buzz. I think what half the issue is with when Lewis just tosses away the ones that are working, is I'm fairly sure they do go to another person to go get re-verified, double checked with the customer, things like that. But of course the problem is, you know, he wants to show something on his stream that does need repairing, and he's got no shortage of them. So he can always just put that one back into the pardon me, back into the queue and then pick a new one himself. So whereas I'm a little bit different here, I'm somewhat queue constrained, as in if I toss this one aside, well, I really don't have many others I can bring out and play with. Where the heck's my T8? Oh, there it is. You gotta yell at the universe to get your stuff. Yeah, I'm fairly sure that they wouldn't actually just, you know, send it back to the customer or anything like that. That's just, it's just done for drama. Still got to get some new lighting. Oh, no wonder I haven't even got my office light on. I was wondering what was going on. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it is a difference. I'd say probably another 40 watts of lighting would be good in here. Something with maybe a color rating around about 96 plus would be good. You ready to go? I think we are. Yep. Come on. Take you off. Well, we've got a nice thick edge of dust build up, so, and I can see some corrosion by, yep, that's certainly enough to do it. Unfortunately, I did get my supply of donor boards, which is good because I'm running out of this particular part that needs to be replaced. Just looking for my heat mat. Hey, Riston UK, Derek Treywick, hello. I don't believe I've seen you before either. And Rapofasto? Alrighty. Anyway, the first bit of corrosion I could see was right there, that green tuft. There could be others, but that one's in a bad spot. Yeah, certainly enough to kill it. At least make it intermittent, that's for sure. Might not be the only one though. Oh yeah, here we go, we've got some more over here. So it looks like we're going to have to do a bit of searching around. Zoom back a little bit. They look like little chunks of snot. Oh, pick that off. This board's going to enjoy its time in the ultrasonic cleaner, I can tell you that much. Ni hao, Michael-chan. Backlight feedback's okay. I finally started to get some more time to get back to practicing my Chinese. Like I said, I'm mostly focusing on reading it. Okay, that's probably going to need replacing too. A bit of damage under there. Might not be severe enough, but I do want to fix it up. This is just the on-off short circuit there. Hey, Ian Robinson. Avrid Nilsson. Should I post some TV? Somehow I don't think I'd make it here. Customers will take it and use it. That's kind of weird, having a bit of corrosion smack in the middle there. Mark Bianco, thank you. Thank you very much. Coffee, that's what I'll do. I'll buy coffee and ice cream. And cat food. That's the thing that started to worry me today. I noticed cat food started disappearing off the shelves more than it has before. So we do have a reasonable supply of cat food, but we also got a reasonable number of cats. The virus is pretty quiet. We've got one confirmed case in this town, which they went straight into isolation. They'd just come back from overseas. So theoretically they did not mingle with the community. I dare say there is probably a level of non-declared or undetected cases in town. People in general are being complete idiots, of course, and not bothering to respect the social distancing rules because they feel like they're special, and maybe they think that it's not in town. People like that which actually create the problem. Ooh, that's interesting. This corrosion, whatever this corrosion is, seems to just be everywhere. Look at that. That's actually eaten right into the track there. It's not important. That's a flood fill for that plane, but it's just sort of gotten everywhere. Little bits and pieces. There is a teeny tiny tuft of it there and there, but I think that will just come out fine in the ultrasonic. Yeah, like I said, I can't really make out what on earth caused this. Normally, yeah, oh well. Both actually, rescue both wet and dry cat food. So basically it's people like myself stocking up for their pets. Yeah, I saw that the tigers at the zoo thing. There's a few questions around that in my mind. I mean, they may have, they've detected it, but is it transmittable from them back to humans? What is the transmission vector to get to us from them, if there is? And I'd say it's probably going to get blown out of control. Our biggest worry is that people are going to start abandoning their animals or killing them, things like that. Just basically behaving badly and using that as an excuse. There is a bit of flux left in there, but it's not worth trying to chase that down. And we've got to suck this thing back out. Always fun trying to get these plungers back out. I should just go down the vet and get a bunch of them. And these are pretty much standard for horse needles. Ew, I touched it. Fortunately, all our cats are, contained within the house. Ah, that damn well hurt. Ooh, it's probably going to bleed under there now. Oops. Okay, that's okay. I gotcha. It's going to dribble out for a bit. So I guess we'll just get straight to work, start flux and boiling. Jack Cutler, I'm not sure what the infection vector is going to be, but of course, for most domestic animals, the chance of them picking it up is going to be pretty slim to start with, if we've got a pretty slim number of cases. I mean, certainly it's something that needs to be checked out, because the last thing you need is household pets, particularly if they're roaming, like most people do with their cats. We don't, but I know a lot of people do. It can be a method of transmission that we need to get under control. Okay, let's get to work. But you know that people are going to be idiots about it, and that's the trouble. I'm not going to deny that the possibility of it, but I'm a little concerned about how people are going to react to it. And there's no shortage of hillbillies around here that are going to do dumb stuff. That one's got to come off. Oh, I didn't spot that. That's probably a trace broken there. Jack, you're quite right. And sometimes I don't even need an excuse. But yes, you're quite right. Okay, the track seems fine. But they may need cleaning up. I'm wondering if they're going to just cancel Easter this year. It's like, no zombie Jesus celebrations this year, folks. I mean, I've never liked the fact that Easter gets a large number of holidays, very disruptive too. I mean, Anzac Day doesn't even get a public holiday anymore. Not that I believe it really should either. I certainly think it should be observed, but the public holiday thing is just out of control. Bunch of lazy people looking for excuses to do nothing. Yeah, I mean, every year Easter comes around, it's like, oh, we're going to take Friday off and everything's going to be shut. No exceptions, even if you don't follow Christianity. By the way, we're a secular society, government, but we're going to have those holidays. Okay, this has got to go. It wouldn't be so bad if they didn't also then have the Monday off due to Easter Sunday. That's the thing that wrecks me. It's funny, people consider that I'm a bit of a left-leaning socialist type. I'm not really socialist, but I am a left kind of leaning person, and I'm really not in for any of these handouts or anything. So I suppose someone explained to me as I was fiscally I am very much right aligned, but in terms of social humanity I'm a little bit left. It's an interesting combination, whereas a lot of the local people here are fiscally left, as in they want their handouts, they want their freebies and everything like that, but by God, if you try to tell them that they're left-leaning, they'll string you up, tar and feather you, and take you down the main street. How dare you say that, sir? Yeah, Defcon, if you got neighbours not honouring the lockdown, then yeah, probably best for them to be put through the ringer a bit. Okay, we want that little cap. To be fair, I'm probably biased. Well, I am biased because of the fact that I work from home. And when things are not running normally, I don't get deliveries, I can't go get my stuff. Yeah, so it's a inconvenience. So I guess I'm just being selfish that I don't want everyone else to have public holidays, because I have the convenience of getting up in the morning whenever I want and stuff like that. To be fair, I do work extended hours far beyond what everyone else gets to knock off from though. So, choose your debate. Yeah, Don Matthews, exactly. You know, a lot of the people who ask for freebies don't really think about where they come from. Someone's got to pay for it. I suppose part of it though is when the governments just start printing extra money to cover it. So we'll all be paying for it, but slightly less. Okay, I need to get this part off here. What's your views on government UBI? It would help if I knew what UBI was. What's UBI? Universal what? Something income? Universal basic income, I'm guessing. I think the trouble with universal basic income is the fact that all that will happen is that the market just floats up to compensate for it. So within, let's say, even a year, if I'm going to be generous, the universal basic income will probably not be a sufficient income for basic needs. I think there'll have to be greater stipulation on who can apply for it, things like that. But yeah, the market will compensate for it very quickly. I mean, the current welfare systems aren't the greatest, but they're better than a universal basic income system. Rescue Whiskers dry cap is seriously. Well, not out that much, but thank you. No, thank you. I actually have been also having to. I've got to take precautions because obviously Micro is diabetic cat, and so we need to have insulin for him and needles and all that sort of stuff. So I have had to make sure that I have a sufficient supply of that. Insulin's a little bit tricky because it does need to be stored correctly if you want to maintain its life. I guess at least the upside is because Micro is using the same insulin that humans use, I can always go and find myself a human and steal their insulin. It's not ideal, just like that soldering job. Yeah, the fridge, the trouble I have with the fridge at the moment is that our fridge sucks. We have to defrost that bugger of a thing far too frequently. $1,700 fridge, and yeah, it just misbehaved pretty much from the day we bought it. Damn it, stop misbehaving. Yeah. So I'm a little bit scared to put insulin into the fridge on the fact that it may cause it to freeze, in which case then all of a sudden your insulin's useless. Fortunately the vet is very good and they can get us insulin within 2 days typically. Anyway, it's that's just the sort of thing everybody has to manage. You know, everybody's usually got something that they've got to keep under control like that. Either for themselves or for someone they know, so on and so forth. Yeah, the fridge is shouldn't use the fridge as air conditioning. I'm not Homer Simpsoning it. With this particular fridge, it's a Westinghouse one, and it has a design flaw with the baffle unit. Personally, I'm just against side-by-side fridges, you know, that have a shared condenser unit and things like that. If I'm going to have fridge and freezer, I much prefer to have pigeon pairs. So at least if you lose the compressor on one or something like that, you've always got another backup. So I think the thing I should do is go and get myself a nice chest freezer, but they're pretty much impossible to get right now. Okay, this resistor here has to go. The pad under it's damaged. Hey Cecilia, from Poland. Pedro, it's okay. As long as people are watching, I'm good. As long as people are entertained, I'm better. So Pedro, when are you going to get your upgraded microscope? Because that's pretty much the only thing left on your list, isn't it? It's going to be a world of difference when you get to upgrade to one of these ones. Yeah, I'm trying to work out whether that cap is bad, whether it's just junk on it, I think. I'll give it a wash down. As soon as I can find my toothbrush. I take my toothbrush upstairs to use it last night. Where are you, toothbrush? Ah, there you are. No, I think the cap's fine. It was just a bit of junk on it, that's all. Hello, Adisa. So which one is that? It's the last one before the row of caps. Okay. MG Chemicals from DJ. Oh, I'm very happy with this one. I really don't have trouble with this. I have tried a number of fluxes in my time. Half the fun is just getting used to the behaviour of the flux too. You know, knowing what you can and can't do with it. What sort of stuff you can get away with. Oh, Calvin, did you get a tube of Vaseline, did you? I've seen those ones. I'm surprised that they can even sell them. I suppose, what do you call it, intellectual property rights or brand marking, trademarking is not really well covered. I just want to see if this, it should be fine, it's just a bit of surface corrosion. Oh, it sounds like when the dentist is working on my mouth. I usually get a lot of, oh, Mr. Daniels, you need to do more fluxing of your teeth. We can save it today, but in future you're going to have to do better here. It's like, damn, dentists are judgmental. If I still had my original teeth, I'd bite the damn guy. No, just kidding. I've still got pretty much all my teeth. Except for the ones that got taken out because of the wisdom teeth. What else we got? This is going to be an annoying board to test because of the fact that it does work. It did work when it came in, so we can't just power this up and go, hey, it works, because, well, we don't know. I might replace this resistor. It's looking a little worse for wear. Calvin, I think my wife does that. Yeah, it's a bit of a nasty looking resistor. I might replace the next one too, just out of precaution. Hey Jeff P. So I hope you don't need aluminium foil to cover the closest chips or... no, not in this particular case. None of these are going to get upset by the heat that I use. Usually you do that for parts that have got underfill on them. There's a bit of corrosion on the ground plane there. We'll just scratch that back. Yeah, just a bit of corrosion. Looks like it ends around about there. ASP. Okay, area of concern is just in here. Yep, there we go. Bit more. Can be easy to miss that stuff. Now the question is that just a... I think that's just a flood fill, so it's not a problem. Even though that looks like it's a trace, it's actually just a flood fill of the ground plane, so it doesn't matter. But looks like there could be some undercutting under the pad for the... I mean, it looks sturdy enough. Yeah, actually no, I think it's okay. Rescue, well, yeah, there was one part I fixed, and we just had to fix other parts. Okay, so what do we want? So we want these two here. Just put some flux on them so they don't oxidize when we take them off, at least theoretically. So many things that theoretically you should happen, but practically never do. Oh, come on, get off already. There you go. I was getting impatient. The problem here is that that fat ground plane is just sucking up all the heat. Yeah, that's all we need to do for the moment. We'll get the next one, we'll come back and fix them up. Ta-da! One shelf in my fridge is just for cat meds. Catherine, how many cats do you got and how many meds do you have to have for them? At the moment we've got insulin and cat lax. It pretty much covers us. That's right, we do have for now, we've got some pawpaw topical cream as well to help with some nose issues. Yeah, that was never going to go well. Two cats, okay. Vaccines and fluids. Oh, what sort of vaccines? Pardon me. Okay, I really should have a look at the other side of this. This is the HSIO PCH 1V05 switch, I think it is, 1V05. And it may have some corrosion on the other side that we can't see. Let's have a look. Edge on's time. Yeah, it seems okay. It just looks dirty, that's all. Let's put some alcohol on it. Yeah, that's okay. It's fairly common for this particular chip to suffer corrosion hits. Likewise, this one here, which is the one that we just fixed up. I'm just taking the opportunity now to have a scan over the edge of the board. See if there is any corrosion that we have missed. It looks mostly just like dust now. So at this point it should still boot up and run. Should. It's going to be a pain if it doesn't, because it means we've gone backwards. Just defrosted the freezer, found some frozen damsons. I don't know what damsons are. For bonus effect, we will in fact install the fan tonight, just to get everybody happy. But we'll also put the chipmunk in, because the chipmunk does one step better. Damsons are small plums. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Thanks. Okay, fan spin. We're drawing the right amount of power. Yep, half amp or so, 600. And we just want to wait for the blinky blink. Green blink means we are probably alive. And we are alive. Superb. Alright, so this goes into the ultrasonic cleaner. And that pretty much wraps it up for the night. I only had the one machine turn up today. Being a Monday, we don't normally get a lot of deliveries here. Most of them, even if they arrive in Townsville on the weekend, for some reason, due to the incompetence perhaps of the postal system, or rather their budget constraints, they opt not to send the packages through to us on a Monday. So the fact that the stuff I get here on a Monday has actually been packed in Friday over the weekend at Townsville. So yeah, it's a little bit annoying. Adds about 2 days of unnecessary delay. But wow, that was just floating on there. That was not at all stuck on there. That's no good. I guess maybe they checked it to see if there was any issues with the PCH. Maybe. Ha! Lethal one here, is he? Too late! What's that Justin Bieber song? It's too late. Yeah, something like that. I'm not going to sing. No thanks. Especially not Justin Bieber. Alright. Oh, well, actually, can anyone tell me if a 2015 A1398 keyboard deck is actually compatible with 2012, 2013, 2014? Because I have to replace a keyboard, but I really just want to replace the entire deck, the keyboard deck, rather than trying to fiddle around with the keyboard. But I can only seem to source 2015 ones, and I want to know if they're compatible with 2013 and 14. It's probably something Pernov or Anel will know. It's not a Justin Bieber song? Oh, okay. Who is it? Ah, you can tell I don't really follow top 40 or modern pop or rock or whatever. I used to, back in the 80s and 90s. Quarantine's fine. It's just like, yeah, it's any other day here for me. Coldplay? Coldplay? What? I know Coldplay, but they didn't do it, did they? Didn't Coldplay do Yellow? Now I've got to check that. Coldplay Yellow. Yes, they did. Okay, I'm not losing my mind. Timberlake. Thank you, Rescue. Yes, Timberlake. Alright, in that case I can sing it. And for all those of you who got it wrong, Crimea River. Well, I think it was the Timberlake one that I was... Timberlake version anyway. Alright, Warren, you take care. Enjoy your work. A Kid Jet. Yeah. So this is prepped. Unfortunately, the ultrasonic cleaner is turned off because I basically did not come into the workshop at all today to do anything with the circuit boards. This is the first time. And there's no point me really turning it on at this hour of night because I'm too tired, and better I just attack it in the morning. And I will test it again in the morning. So, until tomorrow, I'll have to say goodbye, and you all take care. Be careful with what you're doing. Don't everybody spread around anything. And yeah, generally try to stay safe. So I appreciate you all coming in and keeping me entertained. And I hope that you manage to keep yourselves completely sane during your quarantine periods. So, until tomorrow perhaps, take care. I'll see you later.